This is both a habit and a skill. What I will talk about in this video is common to any successful people in the early stages of their development. When they started, they almost always said yes to every new opportunity and took advantage out of it. This is an integral part of growth right at the beginning, before people start imitating your personality and trying to be like you. At some point, you'll have to do the opposite. Refuse most offers, because not everything will be worth your time, but at the start, yes is more important than no. As I do in every video on this channel, I'll tell you a story from my life that will demonstrate what I mean. Do you know, when I started taking on about one new direction a month to understand how things work, between 17 and 20 years old, I was involved in so many things at the time. I worked as a junior software developer, a salesman in a family store, worked on a factory, helped friends with the development of a startup, was engaged in street sales, already created several projects, and I can go and go just without stopping. Believe me, if I decide to briefly talk about everything that happened then, even a few videos will not be enough for us, but get the point. I grabbed every opportunity that promised me two things: new experience and the chance to make money. I gave more priority to experience. It's unlikely that you can make a lot of money working as a landscaper in a factory, but it taught me to get up before dawn and do what it takes. And what did it give me? That I took on a lot and tried to get the most from each direction. Tons of experience and expanding horizons. It was another wonderful phase in my life, and I still use many of the skills I developed then. Would I have been where I am now if I had missed out on opportunities at that time? I think not, so I'm very grateful to myself for remaining open to 1,000 roads. I want to share 3 reasons why at the beginning it's important to say yes to everything new much more often than no. First, this is the only way you will understand what your path is. If you are at the very start, then just listen to me. You yourself don't yet know all your capabilities. You don't know for sure what your real strengths are. Yes, you may be good at math, economics, or communicating with strangers, but how you apply it in your life depends on your experience. Think of it this way: all your actions are guided by your consciousness, and your consciousness is developed by experience you go through. How can you understand what it's like to sell via phone calls if you've never done it? But if you remain open to all possibilities, you're constantly gaining new experience that teaches you about adulthood in practice. Only through real actions you'll understand what your path is. Through new connections, you'll learn about opportunities that will change your life in the future. While you are at the start, selectively observe the benefits of everything you do and don't be afraid to take on previously unknown areas. Even if you lose everything, what is it about? Do you really think that today's losses will critically affect your future? The stakes are still very low. Remember the butterfly effect. I have one rule that I followed when I was 16 and which I keep in mind even now. Any mistake tomorrow is more expensive than a mistake today. It's mistakes that teach you best, but you won't learn any new lesson from them if you won't take any opportunity, correct? Or at least if you're afraid to fail. So either you're on today and lose sense, or you're on about the same stuff years from now and lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. The more often you say yes to real opportunities at the start, the stronger you become, period. Second, it's almost impossible to become a serious player if you limit yourself in everything new. As it often happens, one point follows from another. I want to dwell in more details on what I briefly talked about a minute ago. Imagine this situation. You are living your life, minding your own business, and suddenly you are appointed CEO of Google, without warning or preparation. If you have never managed corporations before, if you don't have an understanding of a fintech market and don't have any connections and leadership skills, will you be able to stay in this position for a long time? The answer is obvious, but you will say, this is a ridiculous example, people are not appointed to such positions like this. Well, that's the point. Such things happen consciously. They are based on an assessment of the potential and experience of candidates. Only one question remains. Do you think the current heads of the largest companies in the world were not once in your place? You don't think that they are just talented or were born in rich and influential families, right? Of course, this may be, but 90% of these people, they build their lives by their own hands. They often said yes studying this world, understanding how the economy and the market works. But now try to come to California and approach Tim Cook with a proposal for a joint startup. It's unlikely that he'll agree right away, because now he has already passed the stage when he could take everything that comes into his hands. Today he has the opportunity to choose the best and focus on few, not many. You simply can't get to this point avoiding mistakes and learning nothing new. So, while you're gaining basic experience, stay open to everything that develops you. Third, at the beginning, yes opens new doors, and no leaves them closed. Then the rules of the game change. I decided to highlight this idea again and dwell on it in a little more detail. Dan Lok talks about it very well in some of his videos, and I'll repeat it. Sooner or later, there'll come a time when it's rational not to take on everything you can reach. Why is that? Because eternal students rarely achieve serious success. You need to feel that moment when your speed is already enough to take off, and it's very advisable to do this before runaway ends in front of you. Throughout your life you'll grow your reputation, and once you reach a certain level, people themselves will want to do business with you. They'll begin to offer you opportunities. This is where the law of supply and demand begins to work. What any market economy is built on. You will have a huge influx of offers, and the advantage will always be on your side, because it depends only on you whether you want to accept the offer or not. Therefore, everything is very dynamic. First you work on your skills and reputation, and then they start working on you. And everything I told you is a fractal. Wherever you are, even if you are already a successful businessman, increase your scale and you will see that compared to where you might be, you're still a freshman. So always improve and stay open to those opportunities that are relevant for you right now, in this particular moment, with the reserve for the future. I really like to talk about this topic because I come across it literally every day. I'm constantly surrounded by new ideas. I'm often offered to start some kind of joint business. And I'm pleased to realize that I'm already at the stage when, due to my experience, I can give up on something but plunge headlong into different, better idea and succeed there. Guys, thank you so much for watching my content, you know I highly appreciate it. So if you like this video, give me a like if it was useful for you. If it wasn't, give me your dislike and write the comment below why was it, so give me your feedback. Follow my channel and see you in the day after tomorrow. Thank you very much.